Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we are going to talk about the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. And I would like to know what you think of the 11th Doctor, because I hear so many people talk about David Tennant, the 10th Doctor. I hear so many people talk about Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor, and for a lot of people, Tennant's their favorite. For a lot of people, Capaldi's their favorite for some reason. But I don't really hear people talk about Matt Smith a lot, and I think the 11th Doctor is a really good Doctor. I really enjoy him. Last time I ranked the Doctors, which was a Patron exclusive actually, Matt was the highest modern Doctor on my list. So I really like him. I think he does a lot of really neat things. He's a really complex Doctor. And I don't quite get all of the Tennant comparisons, because I think the 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctor are both very different Doctors. They both have that kind of same amount of energy. They're very energetic Doctors, which they're both very young Doctors. So that kind of makes sense. But I never get when people kind of use them interchangeably. Like, for instance, when people are talking about Whittaker, she's just doing a Tennant or Smith impression. I'm like, what does that mean? Because she has energy? Is that what you're saying? Then just say her Doctor has energy. That would be like me going, oh, so-and-so's just doing a Samuel L. Jackson, Michael J. Fox impression. You know, those are two totally different things. Because the 10th Doctor... Okay, let me start with the 11th. The 11th Doctor, I think, is really good at how to put this? The 11th Doctor is very good at being the childlike, innocent Doctor with a childlike wonder, while at the same time very much being the old man in a young body. The old man really comes through at times. I mean, he really does those polar opposite points really well. He pulls off both of them well. Whereas I don't think of the 10th Doctor like that. I never think of the 10th Doctor as the child in the adult body, and I never really think of him as the old man in the young body. Now, he has those moments where he gets in that look in his face where you can tell there is a wisdom and an age behind how his face looks. Like, you know, much like Shakespeare says to him with the, what's he say in the Shakespearean Code about you who look so young but has eyes so old. Yeah, I see that you can get the impression from him he's older than he looks. And he does have a wonder and excitement, but it's more like, even like people right when they're in college in their early 20s, they have that excitement for adventure. Let's go kayaking. Let's go whitewater rafting. Let's go climb a mountain. You know, that go get 'em adventure attitude that you have at that age, and even maybe into your 30s. You know, that's to me the 10th Doctor. The 11th Doctor, it is more that childish silliness at times, like when he sees a fez or you see him getting so excited. What are the round things? I love the round things. What are the round? You know, most of you know what I mean. Can't you talk without waving your hands about? Yes, no. There's a childlikeness to him that's so much fun, and you know, and there's an innocence when he's acting like that. But at the same time, he pulls off that old man in the young body so well. Just like you can see the essence of Hartnell right there. You can see Hartnell right behind his eyes. This is a man who's been around a long, long time. He pulls that off really, really well. And silly me. Silly old Doctor. You know? He does both of those contrasting points well. And then I also like the fact that his Doctor can be so nice and caring, like with children, you know. So you only interfere when children are involved. Yes! But at the same time, his Doctor has a temper. He has that kind of Colin Baker anger to him. And that Tennant could get too, don't get me wrong. You know, when you see him get angry, even in the 11th hour, it's not so much anger, but you can tell he's not happy. When he calls them back in the 11th hour, you lot, back here, now! And then when he loses his temper in Beast Below, when he loses his temper in Victory of the Daleks and starts banging on the Dalek, when he loses his temper in A Good Man Goes to War, you know, I want them to call you Captain Runaway. I want you to, that it wasn't worth it to mess with my friend. You know, I love that whole speech he does there. You know, good men don't need rules. Today is not the day to find out why I have so many. You can tell it's this person you don't want to cross. And Matt Smith pulls off all these different aspects to the character really well. I mean, all of the actors to one degree or another have pulled off a three-dimensional Doctor pretty well. Whittaker, I think, being the worst about this, and Colin during his TV run not being so great. I think he does a lot better with his Big Finish stuff, from what little bit I've heard of it and from what I've heard about it. but he really feels like a full fleshed out character, which is realistic. I mean, he is. He's supposed to be a real character. Much like how just human beings, us, in general, we're complex people. I remember having a girl I was talking with one time. She's like, describe yourself in one sentence. I'm like, how am I supposed to describe myself, like fully who I am in one sentence? I'm way more complex than that. There are so many different aspects to me. Well, are you easygoing and laid back? Sometimes, most of the time, but I have things that bother me. There are times I'm happy, times I'm sad. People are complex individuals. It's hard just to sum yourself up to a word or to describe yourself in one word. Complex. While at the same time, simple, if I could use two words. And so he really does feel like a fully fleshed out three-dimensional character because he has all of these different aspects going on. And Matt Smith nails that. The way he says his dialogue, his mannerisms. His facial expressions are pretty good. I think Tennant is better at doing facial expressions because I can always tell what's going on in the 10th Doctor's mind just by looking at his face. He doesn't even have to talk. I can tell by the look on Tennant's face. He's really good with his facial expressions. Matt, not quite so much on that. It's more the way he does his dialogue communicates to me what his doctor is feeling. And his body language. Like in Day of the Doctor when he sees the fez and he's like, yeah, I love that. I love his little giraffe dance. Like I said, he's treated as a complex character. And more, he's become my favorite of the modern Doctors a lot. I like going back and rewatching his era. My favorite version of him is definitely him in Series 5. He's a little more serious. He becomes a little more caricature-ish later because they kind of lean into the comedic sides of him. He's still great, don't get me wrong. I just prefer that better balanced version of him in Series 5 when he's a little more serious, a little darker, while still having the humorous aspects of him, which I really, really enjoy. His outfits are good. I don't like his jacket in Series 6 and the first half of Series 7. I don't like that jacket at all. I love his Series 5 jacket and his Series 5 outfit. I love his purple outfit that he wears toward the end of his run from Season 7B on. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. Probably the purple outfit, but I love the Series 5 outfit a lot. I love, especially as I've really grown to love Troughton. I love seeing how much of Troughton is in the 11th Doctor because I love Troughton a lot. So seeing that in Matt, kind of some of the physical mannerisms, what he does with his hands, the kind of silliness there at times, the outfit, there's so much of Troughton in him which I really like and could be part of why I like his Doctor. Plus I think he has probably objectively the best post-regeneration episode. It's really, you really connect with his Doctor really, really good, really, really quickly, I think. I really like the 11th Doctor. And it frustrates me that I don't hear as much about him. Usually, I hear about Tennant or Capaldi, Tennant or Capaldi, Tennant or Capaldi. And at the moment, I like Smith's Doctor better than both of those. So I just wanted to kind of do a video talking about the 11th Doctor and why I like the 11th Doctor. I would like to know what you think of the 11th Doctor and how he stacks up. And how you would vote him in the modern Doctors and in the Doctors as a whole. Because he was my top choice when I ranked the Doctors for the modern Doctors. He ranked pretty high up on the list overall as well. So that's my thoughts on that. Other things to do. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I want to give a special shout out to one of my subscribers who sent me my first piece of fan mail the other day. He calls himself Stevel Knievel. I want to say thank you to that. He sent me this wonderful copy of the Aztecs, which I still haven't watched quite yet, but I will be watching soon. As a matter of fact, by the time you see this, I should have watched it already. I'm really looking forward to it. I've always wanted to see the Aztecs. It really means a lot to me. The first piece of fan mail I've gotten, it just made my day when it came in the mail. So thank you, Stevel. I really appreciate that. If you would like to send me anything, my P.O. box is down in the description below, so take a look at that. In case there's anything Doctor Who related, sci-fi related, or just otherwise you want me to unbox and do a review of, send that to me. I would love to do that. I also want to thank two of my top tier patrons, the 5th Doctor and Stephen Crane. I always appreciate their support, and just as I appreciate the support of all of my patrons and all of my subscribers. If you would like to join my Patreon and support me that way, there is a link to my Patreon down in the description below that gets you access to exclusive content, polls to vote in for exclusive videos on Patreon, Also, videos that will go up on the channel, behind the scenes stuff, all sorts of fun things. Again, link to that down in the description below. My Amazon wish list is also down in the description below as well if you would like to send me anything that way. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.